So my horse kicked a fence panel and gave herself a cut, and her leg got really swollen. So I want to take you along and show you how I use a leg sweat to take her leg from being swollen and puffy to looking great. Okay, so what I'm mixing together is DMSO, which is a clear, just a clear liquid. It's a gel, and I'm mixing it with this crazy yellow nitrofurazone. So I mix it together. I just scoop visually equal amounts into my little container, and I just stirred it up with my fingers in a glove, because that'd be gross. And then I'm going to put this on Marinella's leg. So here I am applying the product. I just take a little bit on my hand and massage it all over her leg, just wiping it in. It really doesn't take a lot of product. I put it on her cut. I put it all over her leg, anywhere there's swelling, because there is swelling on that entire leg area. I just take a little tiny bit, the amount that kind of fits on the last pad of my pointer finger, and then just wipe it down that whole leg area. So you end up with it product all over the leg, but in a very thin layer. Take your glove off inside out, so much cleaner that way. Again, you can see that even coverage and a nice thin layer. Okay, so next step is you bust out your saran wrap. Saran wrap, cling wrap, whatever you call it. So I just take it out of the box because it's easier to deal with. It wants to just fold over on itself, so be patient. And it just takes a hot minute to smooth it out. So I get it really smooth, and then just taking my time to really make sure there's no bumps or folds, or that it's just really smooth against her leg. And I also pull it forward so it's a little bit closer to the cannon bone than towards the back. And then you just wrap it around several times. Here you go, and I'm just pressing to make sure it's all sticking to itself, and use my scissors to cut the saran wrap. And the great thing about it is if you just press it to itself, it will stay in place, which is very handy. Okay, next up you need some cotton. This is just sheets of like cotton batting. So when you unroll it, it has different layers to it, and you don't need to use all of the layers. So like I lifted up just the first layer and just have one layer of this cotton batting and wrap it around her leg. There we go. Again, just keeping it smooth smooth and even against the leg because you don't want any weird pressure. And I'm going to go ahead and do a second layer. Again, there are several layers to this cotton batting, so I just lift up the top one and cut it off. So there we go. And wrap that around her leg as well. There we go. It's just soft and fluffy. Okay, next I have this stretchy cotton gauze, and I'm going to use this to help hold the more fluffy cotton batting in place before I vet wrap everything. So I just go all the way around the leg, making sure it's smooth and even, and just keeping everything in place. And I need some more. Okay, more of this stretchy gauze. Again, just anytime you wrap your horse, make sure that you have consistent and even pressure. You also don't want it too tight. You don't want to damage your horse's legs when you wrap them, and you want just a little bit more pressure when you pull across the cannon bone than when you pull across the tendons in the back. So I'm not going under the fetlock. I keep it all straight down. So straight down and up. I'm not going underneath like you would if you were wrapping a polo. I'm not doing that. I just go down and then stop. So it doesn't have to be super perfect. That's where the bump is. That's why it looks weird. Then just grab some vet wrap, Go Flex. Vet wrap is also great because it will stick to itself. So, super handy. And when you go around with the vet wrap, this is my final layer, I make sure to leave a little bit of the inner bandaging material, that fluffy cotton batting. I make sure that that sticks out a little bit. So getting down to the bottom, see how I leave a little bit of the fluffy bandage material out at the bottom as well as the top, and then you just press it to itself to seal it. And that's it. Looking good.
All right, so here is the leg sweat in the next morning. So it's been on overnight. Still looking pretty good. So looking good, and I have my safety scissors that I'm going to use to take it off. Okay, so one of the things that I do when I am removing the leg sweat is it's too thick to cut it all as one layer. So I will just cut off the outer vet wrap layer by itself. And after I cut that off, then I'll go back in and I can remove that cotton batting layer. But it's too thick to get it all in one go. And then after I take off the cotton, then I can go back in and take off the saran wrap. So there I am, just cutting off the saran wrap. And once I do that, I will go ahead and wipe off my scissors because they get a little bit of goop on them. And that's fine. And I also like to wipe off the leg with that saran wrap when I've got it in my fingers because it's just a little bit of dirt or a little bit of ointment, and just kind of clean it off so it doesn't attract dirt. And here's the leg with the sweat removed. So the leg, this one is normal, and this is the one that was really swollen that we put the sweat on. And except for the bump where it is, where the initial injury was, it looks pretty darn good. So that's the sweat.